What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode. I'm your host, Disco, and today we're going to continue on talking about the 2024 elections. Now, we're not going to talk about the presidential election in particular. We're going to talk about the Senate, and more specifically, we're going to talk about Texas. Now, I will go into a bit of detail on both the Senate and presidential elections. So that first part is a kind of a lie on my part, but we're going to talk about the presidential election first. Texas is changing. There's no denying it. Trump's ability to win Texas is fading. Now, obviously, Trump's ability to win in any other state is particularly growing, but we also have to remain accept the fact that Texas is going to be competitive, and there's no way to really undo that. So let's put that in perspective. As of right now, 538 and many other polling sites have come to the conclusion of this map as middle of September. I say more specifically the 21st of September, as I am making this. So as of right now, and I agree with this map slightly. I think that if you were to, well, I disagree with Arizona and Nevada. This is my map right here. What I have it right now, but we'll add that later. We'll go off 538 right now. But imagine what if these states went blue? What if Nevada went blue? What if Wisconsin and Michigan, Pennsylvania went blue? But what if no, 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 no. Sorry. Oh my God, I am getting my words mixed up. I'm deeply sorry. But what if Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania went red, but Texas went blue? That's not a scenario I'm willing to opt out of. I mean, that's going to be in the 1 of 100, less than a 1% chance of actually happening. But Harris would win. There's multiple different scenarios where Trump wins a Rust Belt state but ends up losing a Southern state, or specifically a Sun Belt state. Now, and what am I including as a Sun Belt state? Well, I'm also including Nevada in this topic. I'm including Arizona, Texas, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, and South Carolina. Now, South Carolina isn't a swing state, and New Mexico is in the Sun Belt. But the difference is South Carolina is not a battleground state, and New Mexico is a battleground state. But I'm more talking about Sunbelt states, states that are trending more towards the left, with the minor exception of Nevada. Nevada and certain parts of Florida, more specifically in Miami-Dade County, where the Cuban population lives. But the idea of Texas going blue is not out of the question. If we look at 538's forecast right now, we see that Trump has a 75% chance of winning the state. Now, let's look at his actual chances. Now, if we expand on this, we can see that back in July, Trump was winning by over 5 points. Now, in a Democratic poll, which is tend to lean more Democratic, obviously, Trump was leading by 3, but he was leading in other polls by 8, 9, 5, 8, 9, and 5 polls. Now, Emerson College, who is quite accurate in a lot of cases, showed Trump leading by 3 points. Something a bit weird. Then when Trump started to pick up a little bit of momentum and steam, 9 points, but the latest poll out of the Morning Consult has shown him leading against current Vice President Harris by 4 points. Now, as you can see right here, Trump was supposed to cross the 50% threshold and win by around 8 points. Win by around 8 points when Kennedy was in the race. But when Kennedy left the race, Trump's popular vote win has relatively stayed the same, while Harris has relatively been increasing. Now, as of right now, it shows that Harris is losing a bit of support. But what it also shows, it shows Trump losing support. Wins probability when Kennedy was in the race, Trump had a 79 at 1.80% chance. Then once Kennedy got out of the race, it started going to 70. Now, let's go from the debate. Debate was on the 10th, 77%. Now, and then after that, it started going down. Now it's on the rise. We're seeing that. But Texas is one of the only states from in 2016 to trend to the left. It was the only state to be doing that, actually. If we go into the USA election map, jacksonjew.com, thank you for whoever who provided that. Let's look at past elections. We'll look at from 2012 from 2012 to 2008, but let's look at from 2012 to 2016. What changed? Texas went blue. including an other array of states that also went blue. But most notably, Texas and Arizona went blue. But Texas was the only one that was significant. Why? Because of Trump's influence. If we go back to from the 2020 to 2016 map, it shows that while Biden did outperform Trump and ended up actually winning a net positive in his popular vote, he didn't. He was the closest Democratic candidate to ever come winning the state of Texas since Jimmy Carter. Now, will Texas go blue in this election? I don't think so. Texas will not go blue in this election. That's based off my polling, my opinion, and what I think. But obviously, I'm not an expert. I'm just going to say that right now. While there are scenarios where Harris, I'm sorry, I still think Biden's in the race. I'm deeply sorry. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are the Democratic ticket of president and vice presidential ticket. Now, obviously, there's a lot of chances that Harris could win it, and then there's a lot of chances that Trump could win it. But as of right now, Trump is 75% likely to win the state. Now, I will classify it as likely, and will right now, as of September 21st, 2024, will classify it as a likely state. But Trump is going to win the state no matter what. Now, on to the second issue, and I mean the Senate. I'm going to put every incumbent senator on the map right now, and Indiana does not have a Democratic incumbent. Now, this is a bit of a weird story as of right now. Now, as you know, the Senate is trending more and more towards the right as there's more Republican states than Democratic states. But if we look really closely right now, Democrats are at a huge disadvantage as they are defending many, many seats from that are considered either swing states or solid Republican states or states where Democrats are losing support. Now, some of those states, I'm going to include certain races. West Virginia and Montana, out of the bat, they are most likely going to lose. Now, West Virginia, the incumbent Joe Manchin, they're going to lose it right away. Other states include Ohio, Arizona, and Nevada, as those have leaned more towards the right, and Arizona and Nevada still have a purple vibe to it. And why am I saying vibe? I sound like a Gen Z person. Jesus Christ. But Arizona and Nevada still have Republicans in the state, and it still has a purple tint to it. Now, obviously, the big three are going to be Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania because they're the big three. I like to call them the three musketeers of states. That's because they're the three states that went to Trump and put him in the office. Now, obviously, we got Maryland because Larry Hogan. That is an outlier state, in my opinion, but recent polling has showed that Also Brooks is pulling ahead by double digits. New Jersey's a bit of a new one. That one has been in the book. That one has been in the air a little bit, but we don't have any definite polling since Biden dropped out of the race. Including Minnesota. Minnesota, there needs to be more polling, but Amy Klobuchar is most likely going to win. But yeah. But out of Republican states, there are very few that have shown to be competitive or even remotely close. Now, those states include Florida, because recent polling, Missouri, and Nebraska's regular Senate election. Deb Fischer is really has really been polling only by 1 or 2 points, and that is a big headache for the Republican Party. I originally wasn't going to add this next state, but I will add it either way. Obviously, I added Missouri, but that's only because Josh Hall of certain current polling right now. Obviously, that can change. I'm adding Texas. Obviously, Texas was always going to be in the top topic of discussion, but it was never meant to really be in that discussion. Now, let's put in states that we know Republicans are going to win right away, and that is the state of West Virginia. The state of West Virginia, they're obviously going to win right away. Now, Democrats, it's Minnesota and New Jersey. I would say Maryland in this case right now, just right now, because polling just came out yesterday and it showed Also Brooks ahead by about 12 points, which is pretty comfortable. Now, for the Republicans, it's going to be Missouri and Montana, and along with Nebraska's regular election. But that leaves you with these races. But let's say that Republicans have a good night and they win the big states. Okay? But what if they lose Texas? Keep in mind, remember that state, remember that one video I said where Montana was the last stand. And technically speaking, it is. Montana is still speaking the last stand, but let's say Democrats have their good night and win Ohio and Texas. Then not only they have the Senate, but they have Texas. Texas goes, Republicans are doomed. No matter what kind of map they're in, no matter what kind of map. Even if they get, let's say they get Ohio, let's say they get Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Texas going Democrat would be a blow to the Republicans because it would show the fragmentation and how bad Cruz is. There's not a game about policy. There's not a game about a game about ideology. It's just about a game about Ted Cruz in general. That's how it is. And the polling shows. And why am I adding Ted Cruz right now? Why am I adding it as a lean state? Yeah, that's right, guys. I have moved it from a likely to a lean Republican state. Why have I done it? It's this poll right here from the Morning Consult. Now, the Morning Consult isn't the most reliable polling data area, but it can give us an idea. Now, the aggregate polls from the Real Clear Politics from June 29th of 2024 to September 5th, 2024 have showed us that Cruz is ahead by 6 points, relatively comfortable. But Colin Allred is leading in one poll. Keep in mind that from 2023, it's showing that Cruz was going to win. But once 2024 hit, it showed that Allred was picking up some momentum. He wasn't picking up enormous amount of votes, but he was picking up solidly Democratic votes that would help him, and including independent votes who were undecided. Because remember, Ted Cruz is not the most popular. He lost his election in a blue wave year he didn't lose. He won his state by around just under 3 points against Beto O'Rourke, who was, in my opinion, the best candidate the Democrats could have on the Democratic ticket in Texas. But this says a bigger story. Cruz ended up regaining the lead as Joe Biden was still in the race and even was getting close to double digits, even crossing the 50% threshold in a lot of cases, and even crossed the 50% threshold with Qantas Polls and News back in August 29th through 30th in 2024. But that lead is still waning. But what does this mean? We could look at 2028, 2028, that's in 4 years, god damn it, back in 2018. Now, obviously this poll right here is bad right here. But if we go, Beto O'Rourke was in the same situation in August, tying Ted Cruz. Now, poll after poll showed that they were going to go back and forth. They showed back and forth, but as September rolled around, they were just basic. Cruz was winning, and Cruz was going to win. But polls from Emerson College and Quinnipiac University showed a tighter race. Cruz wasn't out of the race. Cruz was still in a toss-up race, or more to say, a competitive race. And on a good day, could force Beto O'Rourke and Ted Cruz into a runoff. I don't think Democrats need to win this race in general. If they want to have a good night in Texas, they would need to force Cruz into a runoff. Not win the seat, into a runoff. Then all hands on deck. Republicans would pour money, and they would treat it like another Georgia. But Republicans would need to get Ted Cruz under control in order to win. Even, let's say, Qantas shows Cruz winning by about 7 points, Emerson College by 4, Morning Consult by 5, and the Democrat in the Morning Consult, again, by 1 point. This is bad news for Republicans. They're losing in a state that should be not relatively safe, but a likely state for them. And to continue on this path, well, what happens in other states? What happens in Georgia and North Carolina? It just grows. They could lose Minnesota, and they could lose Florida. They can win Florida, and they would still win the election. In fact, they could even lose North Carolina at the same time. Texas is the last stand for Republicans, and they would have to get their poop in a group in order to get things rolling again. We'll just have to wait because we're less than how many days we have left? We have 44 days left until the presidential election. Time is running out. It is now the bulk of the campaign. That's where you start seeing your ads, and we start picking candidates. It's been a very short campaign for the Harris campaign. I will say for the Trump campaign as well, as they really had to start from scratch. But Texas will be the last stand, and there's no doubt about it. So thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit that ding-dong notification bell for any new videos, and please subscribe and like the videos. hit the comments. Please tell me what you're thinking, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.